Today's video is about the Rhode Island Special Needs Emergency Registry, RISNER. You might be wondering, what is that, an emergency registry? I don't know what that's for. RISNER, the Rhode Island Special Needs Emergency Registry, was set up by the Department of Health, and it is a database that is specific to any people in Rhode Island who have a disability, perhaps a wheelchair user, someone with mobility issues, medication issues, cognitive issues, and that includes deaf-blind, deaf, and hard of hearing in that disability category. This was set up maybe 20 years ago. And it was set up because in the past, people with wheelchairs would complain that during an emergency, the first responders, the police, the fire department, the EMTs, would rush to the scene, go knocking on doors to evacuate people and find someone in a wheelchair. And then they need to get a special van. They need to get extra people to help get that person out. And there was a lot of time delays that happened. So wheelchair users complained, and it was suggested that the Rhode Island Department of Health and the legislators, they agreed, and they set up this statewide service. It is a free service, and it really helps lessen those kinds of things happening in an emergency. If you were to sign up for the database, you would give that information, and then they would give it to emergency responders, and also the 911 operators would have it. When you call, it would come up on their screen. It would say that you're deaf or hard of hearing, that you need an interpreter, or they need to bring an iPad for communication, for VRI, or if the person's hard of hearing, perhaps have speech to text available. Because it's so important that you have communication access immediately when they arrive. You might wonder how the database works, what happens. As I just explained, it's a database that you would put your information into. That information would be kept in the Rhode Island 911 system. And when you call 911 for an emergency, the 911 operator responding types in your name, and they get your name and address, and they know where you're calling from. And it also gives a red flag that says you are deaf or hard of hearing, or perhaps you're deaf and in a wheelchair, or deaf plus in other ways, or you're hard of hearing. Whatever disability you have, that comes up. That helps the 911 operator to know what kind of emergency services you need. And so the 911 operator can call the police and send them to your house, and also let them know that you're deaf or hard of hearing. Then the police are ready when they arrive with some kind of communication device or getting an interpreter on scene. And it saves time. The database is fed into the 911 system every week. So every time someone updates the system, that system will get updated the following week at 911. It's been a very dependable service so far. If you want to sign up for the system, how can you do that? There are 3 different ways that you can sign up for the system. Online, you can go in and fill out a form, put in all your information, and once you've checked it, you can submit it. Or you can call the Rhode Island Department of Health, and the person that answers will ask you the questions and you respond, and they will fill in the system for you. They will confirm all the answers and then submit it. You will get an email copy of what was submitted. Or you can write a letter to the Department of Health and saying that I'd like to sign up. Could you please send me the paper form? Then you fill out that paper form. Or you can go into the computer and get a PDF that you could download and print. You write all your information into it, you put it in an envelope and mail it back. The website address for them is here. The phone number, if you want to call, is below. Or if you prefer to have them mail you the form to your house, here is the address to write to. You might wonder who can register for RISNER? Can anyone in the state, or perhaps just specific groups? RISNER's database is specifically for people with disabilities. When you look at the form, there are a lot of questions. What kind of disability do you have? Are you in a wheelchair? Are you blind? Are you deaf or hard of hearing? Plus, they have, if you have a medical issue, you can check those off. If you have a heart problem or a kidney problem, something that you would need extra help, you check those off on the form. And that information is sent to RISNER. So other people looking at the form would say, oh, I don't have any of those disabilities. So perhaps hearing person or someone with no medical issues, they cannot sign up for this registry. It is specifically for people with disabilities. And because of emergency services, this will save plenty of time. For example, if you remember a couple of years ago in Newport, we had a gas explosion and they needed to tell people to evacuate. RISNER very quickly pulled up the list, looked at who was in Newport and Middletown and who had disabilities. They were able to give that information to Newport police and first responders to go to those houses first and let them know that there was a gas leak and that they needed to get out. If there was someone in a wheelchair, they had a van ready. If there was someone who was deaf or hard of hearing, they were able to communicate with them and get them out. You might be concerned about whether the information in RISNER is private or whether it's shared with other people in advertisements. The answer is that the Department of Health has confirmed that they are 100% confidential, secure. That information is limited to the number of people who can see it. The people who can see it are yourself, the Rhode Island Department of Health RISNER staff only, and first responders, the 911 operator, the police, the fire, the EMTs. They can see that information, just them. And it is HIPAA certified. Remember HIPAA, that's the health insurance confidentiality federal law. And that database has been HIPAA certified. No one else can see it and they can't sell your information. It is 100% safe. Once you've filled out the information on the system, perhaps you move or your disability gets better. How are you able to go back in and update that information? What would you do? You can easily update your RISNER information anytime. And again, there are 3 ways you can do that. You can go online. When you first registered for RISNER, you will set up an account and a password. So if you set up an account online, you always have to come up with a username and a password. Once you're set up, you type in your information, you submit it, and it connects to your account. So anytime that something changes, perhaps you move and you need to change that information, it's important that you do so, because if you don't, and there's a fire or some, please come to your old address and find out that you moved. So it would be really nice if you could keep it updated. You can go online or you can call them and the person will update your information for you, verify that it's correct, and submit it. Or thirdly, you can ask RISNER to print the form and mail it to you. You can update the information and mail it back. And I strongly encourage you, when you do it online, before you hit submit, you should print a copy for yourself and save it in your records and then send it on. But you should keep that with your important papers, like your birth certificate, your social security card, your passport, your new COVID vaccine card. You want to make sure you keep that with your important papers, where you also keep your bank and tax information. And that RISNER form goes in there. And then if you need to update it, you always know where to find the form so that you can get into your account to change the information or where to call. So this is how you would update your information. Suppose you forgot to update it. You moved and you were so busy, you never thought to update your RISNER information. And so now it's wrong. You're like, what can I do? What might happen? The answer to that is don't worry. The Department of Health, the RISNER department, every year sends out your profile, in a letter that has everything that's in the database, your name, address, and they'll send it out to everyone. You can take a look at it and see if you need to update it. You can make the changes and send it in, or you can go online and make those updated. But I want to let you know that the last 2 years during COVID, the Department of Health told me that they have not sent out those reminders because they've been so overworked and the RISNER staff has been helping with COVID. So they have not updated that information, but they said they will be sending it out again soon. They're hopeful to do it this fall or during the winter of 2022. They will send that out again. And you might wonder, do you have to pay for RISNER or is it free? The answer is it is 100% free. It is a state program. It is the Department of Health, and they cover that through tax dollars. That helps to support the program. So there is no cost to you at all. It is completely free. And it's such an important thing. It could save your life. It will cut down the emergency response time, because when the first responders arrive, they will already know what your disability is and that they will be able to offer you that service first. Those things that I just explained that are in the database, I strongly encourage you to do that. There's another really nice feature to RISNER. They have added a workbook called My Emergency Plan. I'll show you what that looks like here. See, that's the front cover of the book. It's really nice. It's about 15 pages. And it includes so much information. Instead of you needing to go to RIEMA or the Red Cross for information or FEMA, this information is all here in one booklet for you. And what's included there? First, make a plan, an emergency plan for your family, your close friends in your emergency, who those people will be that are with you during an emergency. Keep together all the things that you need to make a plan. Second, make an emergency supply kit, perhaps in a backpack. You want to include things that are enough for 3 days, a flashlight, food, water. If you ever have to evacuate your house, you would be prepared. Or if you had to leave work, you could have this backpack to go. Third, stay informed. They make suggestions of which apps you should download, like Code Red. Rhode Island used Code Red app. You download that. Also, you can download the FEMA app, the American Red Cross app. And also it gives you suggestions of other websites you can go to get information, or which TV stations to watch to keep yourself informed of what's happening. Number 4 is perhaps you have kids. What you should include for the kids in their backpack. Books, their favorite personal item, maybe a favorite toy or a doll. You can pack that in their kit. Then pets and service animals. You want to make sure you take care of them as well and plan and prepare for them, their food, their medication, their medical records, maybe their favorite toy, and make sure that you prepare them as well. 6, an evacuation plan. You know where to evacuate from your house if you have to leave. You already know how to get there. And if not, this will show you how to get into RIMA's website, click on your town, and you can print a map so that you are ready to go, and you can keep that in your backpack. Also, shelter in place information. If you have to leave your house or you have to leave your office and go somewhere to shelter, it will tell you the places near your home. You can find shelters closest to where you live or work, and it tells you where to go. You can also print that and keep that in your kit. And lastly, you need to have a list of your police department, your fire department, town hall, plus the websites associated with them, and the State Department of Health, perhaps, Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency. Keep a list of phone numbers. And also, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, include the commission phone number or website there so that you're ready in an emergency. So you can make those calls or email people or go to websites to get everything that you need, and it's all included in one place. This 15-page booklet is great. It's free, no charge to you. And if you want it, you can download it from the internet. The address to download it is right here. Or you can call, you can ask for 10, 15 of them to be sent to you. You're not limited to just one for yourself. It could help so many disabled people or non-disabled people. You could give it out to your friends, your neighbors, and let them know how to prepare for an emergency. You don't have to sign up for RISNER to get this, but you could give these out to hearing people as well. You can send them a letter and request however many it is you want, and they will mail them to you. And again, it is no cost to you. It's really wonderful, and I encourage you to at least get one and start to get prepared and ready when an emergency comes. You'll have that book, and it will help you to be prepared so things go smoothly. Thank you.